Hello, hello, hello. Good evening for those who are in Europe. Good morning for those who are on the other side of the globe. Today, I have a different kind of a subject in in my episode. I am getting my partner in crime to come on my talk show. We're going to talk about that adults bully too. Yes, it's difficult kind of a subject. Um, hey, darling.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good, good. You look fresh and awesome in the
Thank you.
evening.
Same to you. Just came back from work, so yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we are going to talk about something very, very important in today's talk show episode.
Yeah.
So, guys, everybody, this is Sarita. We have known each other for a few years now, and always lovely to have you on the show, and always lovely to talk to you about current subject. And we were actually discussing just a few days ago that adults bully too.
Yes.
So. Yeah. So, what do you think about it? What is adult bully? Would you?
See, when it comes to adult, I think we have stopped getting sensitive for adults, I guess. I mean, in recent, it's all about children. Suddenly if we hear the word bullying, and especially when it comes to a child, we react so quickly. If it happens to your own child, you'll react to a certain way that you might not do if it happens to yourself. So I think adult bullying is exactly the same as a child gets bullied. And I think it's a very sensitive topic. We don't like to talk about it, but I think it's seen very often in the society, but maybe at a silent mode, I guess.
Yeah, it is an issue. But could you explain? Have you experienced adult bullying?
I would say yes, on and off. You do. I think everyone does, but I can't speak on the general terms because I think if you're asking me, yes, sometimes you do realize it and you just ignore it, and sometimes you just feel that what, it is actually bullying, and you talk to yourself, and then you'll talk to somebody you love, and then it will keep on circling in the same people, but it won't get to the person where you genuinely wants it to be spoken about. So that is
Yeah,
kind
it is
of
because
very.
it is a touchy subject, and I I was bullied as a child, so I am very sensitive to bullying because I was bullied for 9 full months, 9 years, and I took a beating also. So not just verbally, I also was hit and beaten. So it really affects your not just your mental health but also your physical health and emotional health. So I carried with that with me for a very long time, and as you said, I was overprotective for my kids when they started school. I didn't want them to experience the same thing as I did. But when I grew older, I could realize very, very quickly that the tone of the way they were saying things, or what they were not saying, or how they were behaving differently towards me than others, that whole thing are very subtle. It's very difficult to put a finger on it. The worst kind of bullying is when you freeze out people. That's
Yeah.
what I feel, because that is very common, especially between women.
Yeah.
We have a very subtle way to kind of handle these things. We don't like confrontation. So instead of saying, I don't want you in my friend group, we don't know how to deal with it, or we want actually to hurt a person, we just kind of freeze them out. We don't roll our eyes because, that's very obvious, but we could send very subtle looks here and there, and you can't pinpoint that. You can't,
Oh.
you can't take that as you said this, because the look was just a look, and it was so subtle that you might not even get it, but you have that energy in the room that is the very, it's almost to touch upon, but it's nothing concrete. So it's very abstract. So yeah,
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying. Are there other kind of bullies that you would mention, or
See,
do you think?
No, I think, we all know about it. We just don't talk about it. We
Mm,
all know what bullying is. We all know what sensitive topics can hurt somebody. We all might consciously know that we are hurting somebody. But the thing is
mm,
that we don't realize it unless or until it happens to us, or
mm,
sometimes it happens to our loved ones. So I
mm.
think you can be bullied at work, in friend circles, in groups, in people. And I think sometimes, you don't allow people to bully you whom you don't love or you don't
Mm.
like. You are actually bullied most of the time in families or friend circles, because that
I
is
think
where
I
you allow
think
them.
because when it comes to the workspace, I think we describe it as discrimination more than bullying.
Yeah,
Whereas when it is in a friend circle, it becomes more of a bullying because they can pinpoint
yeah,
because they know you so much, so it hurts much more, and they can do it where it hurt much. Like,
of
have you
course.
gained weight? Instead of saying something nice, they can say, have you gained weight because you look a little bit different? Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that dress. You bought it from this cheap place. Or, instead of coming out and saying, hey, I have the same dress,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people will kind of say mean things, but in a polite
Subtle
way,
way.
and it's
Yeah,
still bullying.
yeah, of course. And I think
Yeah.
it's very important to touch these topics because you don't know when you actually end up hurting somebody, or bringing down somebody's energy, or bringing down somebody, because not everybody has the courage to face it.
Mm.
And sometimes you actually feel that, like I said, that, and I think somebody also says here that it starts from home. It does. But
Yeah.
the thing is that when it comes to our own children, we are so protective. Or if somebody would do something to my sisters, I would be very protective. But when it comes to, that is how it is. We have to learn with time. We have to learn
Mm.
that bullying can be so harmful.
Yeah.
Not,
But I think
mentally.
there is another aspect to it also. It starts from your home, dear. So that's where we have to begin.
Yes.
We also, because as you said, because there are two aspects to this, right? One is that we want to protect our loved ones from being bullied.
Yeah.
But when we have our loved ones very close to us,
Yes.
if they are bullying somebody else, how do we? I mean, they're not probably coming home and say, hey, I bullied
Okay.
somebody today,
Yeah.
because they know it's not a good thing to do, right? They're
Yeah.
not proud of it. Nobody's proud of bullying anybody else, I hope. But also to have that conversation with your children and with your husband, with anybody who's close to you, that bullying is not okay. I've been on the side of it. My children knows that. Now my
Yeah.
children know that I've been bullied, and
Yeah.
it was horrible. Now my children are very blessed that they went to a school where they were really accepted and loved. And yes, there were a little bit drama with the girls, but we talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very big, important point here that start from home, but
Yes.
both sides.
Yes. Yes.
So and another thing to talk about when it comes to bullying is that how do you stand up for the people, like, to against those who are bullying? I mean, it doesn't have to be only if it is
Right. Yeah.
somebody you don't know, but you see somebody's being bullied, do you interfere? Do you say something? Do you stop it? Or
I do.
how? Yeah, you do.
I do. I
Yeah.
see. The thing is that with age and experience, I always bring my age. I don't know, but I've learned with age, experience.
Mm,
And I have learned one thing, that what I won't like for myself, I won't like it for the person who
mm,
might be in the same situation.
mm,
I have the courage to say things. Again,
mm.
always try to do it in a subtle way, but I have learned sometimes being subtle also doesn't work. You
No.
just have to be very loud. You have to let them know that no, it's not okay. And
Mm.
when it comes to
Yeah,
standing up,
because if they are loud and if they are hurting somebody, it's
yes,
loud.
yes,
Even if they are not speaking with their mouth,
yeah,
by being negative, they are loud.
yeah. And that's the most
Yeah.
important thing when it comes to bullying, because sometimes I feel if you don't say it, it might take another stage, right? And
Mm.
I have learned, when I always talk to my daughter, I have a 16-year-old, and I feel that sometimes I learn from her that yes, there are things that you cannot do in life. You should keep, and you keep on learning. I
Yeah.
won't say I have never bullied. I don't know. I might have done it. So I won't say that I am perfectly fine. But yes, of course, when I come back home and I have the courage to sit and think that did I do something which might have hurt somebody, then I
Mm.
definitely work on it. I try not to repeat the things. Okay, you might do the same mistake once, twice, but you won't do it thrice. You'll try your best not to do that
Mm,
right.
mm, mm.
So
But
yes,
I also,
out loud.
yeah, I definitely agree with you that we learn with age, and that because when I was being bullied, I had no courage to help anybody else because I was already in the line of fire and I was really afraid to become the target.
Yes.
If somebody else was being bullied, I was like, okay, the focus is not me today. It's okay. So then I will kind of move away from there because I didn't have the strength, as a child to protect somebody else or stand up for somebody else, other than if it was my younger brother. Then that brought out some kind of protective, love for him.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. But I regret that later now. But at that time, I remember thinking that, no, today it's not me. I can breathe. Today I don't have to worry about being bullied. As I grew older, I can't take it. If I see anybody saying anything and just misbehaving, I do call them out. I
Yeah.
do, but in a nice, subtle way. And if I know them very well, I just take them to the side and say, what you did was not nice. Maybe you could have put it in a different way. Let us make them feel, welcome, or, change your approach, because I'm not going to stand by and look at this. So yeah, we learn with age, and I think we learn with situation, and we can't always. If I will say that if somebody don't have that courage, uh, gang up with somebody else to protect. It's easier for some people to be strong, but depending on the situation and the emotional state they are in, that they are not willing to put themselves in the line of fire. So yeah.
Yeah, I think more than that, like you said it yourself that you didn't have the courage at that time, but you would do it for somebody you love, right? But at the same, that's what
Definitely.
I'm saying, that adult bullying is basically that. Not everybody has the courage to say it out loud, right? Not everybody has the courage, because you start calculating. If I say something here, what are the consequences? And in today's life, when you're working 24/7, you have so much on your plate. I mean, I think this should be the last thing that you should think about in life. And that is when you go in a circle where you love people, I think this is one thing you should just let go, and you should just feel happy at that space, because that is what you do. And if even there you don't have that freedom of speech, if you don't have that freedom of being who you are, I think then I'm sorry, but then you just end up changing the circle. That's the only thing,
Yeah,
because
I think
sometimes
also if you,
might not change.
but I guess you have also experienced that if you think it's a safe space and then somebody says something and you come home and you say, next time I'm going to say this, or I should have said that, or but
Yeah.
I know this, and
Yeah.
why didn't I say that, and you become guard. You guard yourself for the next time things happen. Then I'm going to be much more smarter. But then something else hit you, and you're not prepared for that either. And then that is how we learn and grow. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, this is a reality,
Yeah.
not just for women but also for men. I think a lot of men are also subject of bullying, but in a different way. I think. I don't think all of them think too much about it. If they're not welcome in one group, they just say, okay, I'll go somewhere else. They don't put too much emotion into it, but they still experience it, I think so.
Of course.
And yeah,
Everybody
and
does, I think. Everybody
yeah.
does. And bullying is not just, isolating somebody. It's actually, spreading false rumors. That is bullying. I think whenever you go out of your house and whenever you utter a word or a sentence about somebody, okay, talk
Mhm,
whatever you want about yourself, no problem,
mhm,
because that's,
mhm,
it's coming from the original source, right?
mhm,
But when
mhm,
you actually have the courage and you talk about others,
mhm,
I'm very I don't know, uptat. I'm very busy thinking about the thing that when you utter about somebody, you should be 100% sure that those things are correct, because
mhm,
that rumor is also bullying, because it will not stop at the place where you said, because that is very naturally, it will hop from one person to the other, and it will eventually harm somebody, because I don't understand why people don't understand that it will come back to the same source where it
Mm.
started. So, and things go from A to Z. And that is also bullying. Again, it's bullying, because I think you have damaged somebody without knowing the facts.
But I think yeah, I mean, I think that subject has been talked about many times, but people still do it. They don't have much to talk about, so they talk about others, and people who are willing to talk behind others' back, they will talk about your back, behind your back too. So I truly believe that if the way they're behaving towards you, that's how they're going to behave behind your back too. So I think one should kind of surround themselves with people who doesn't let things go too far. But if I have a problem with you, I'll go directly to you and say,
Yeah.
hey, Sarita, you said this to me and I didn't like it. This is my kind of space, or this is my boundary. Could
Yeah.
we work this out somehow? But that is because I really, truly treasure your friendship. If I don't treasure a friendship, if I don't like a person and they speak to me or to me in a way, or they bully me, I just, freeze them out of my life. Because I don't want to spend too much energy trying to fix something that I don't even want in my life. So it really depends on the person that is doing it. If they are crossing a line which they don't know they are crossing, and I want to invest in that relationship, I want them in my life, I really go length and away, and I say, okay, I take the bad, like, icky feeling and confront them and say, hey, I know you come from a loving place, I want you in my life, let's work this out, because I want you in my life, right? So that is also, and I say, next time don't do this because this hurts me. Because then I've been very clear with you that this is what hurts me. If you still do it, then after that I'll take you out of my life. But it becomes easier when we grow older and we get more comfortable in our own skin, that to shred people out, to get people out of your life. You don't care that much about them. So yeah, anyway, I think it's very, very important. Is there anything else that you have experienced that, can help others to get out of a bad situation?
See, situations will arise every day.
Mm.
So I experience on and off. I won't say I mean I'm lucky enough that I don't experience anything. I experience a lot, but at the same time, I learn from every experience. But the only thing I would tell everybody is that, if first of all, if anybody is bullying you, say it out loud. If you see somebody is bullying somebody, say it out loud, because your conscious knows it. Yes, as an adult, it's not your battle. It's not your battle, of course, because that is also one thing that I've seen, that people don't say things loud because they feel it's not their problem. But eventually it is going to be your problem sooner or later. But so speak out things loud and don't bother. If eventually you will know, like, that's what I have learned in life. I know exactly, like what you said, I know when to leave. I know what space to give to somebody, because I have to think about my mental space, because I have to be mentally happy to work, to do the basic things, to do my daily chores, so that I can live a good life. So these things go very back. I mean, I don't consider them as a part of my immediate healthy space. But I definitely believe that these topics should be talked about, because when you try and isolate people around you just because you don't fit into their bracket, their bracket of what they want you to be, you will be isolated at the end of the day. You will. And
Okay, so let me ask you this, because you are getting more and more known as a DJ Sims, and you have a good following, and you go places and you have a really good name in Norway, especially among the Indians, because you keep on having events, and you're known. Everybody knows who Sarita is. Also because of your father, but also you have created your own name. I want to know, as you are rising with your name and people getting to know you, not just in the Indian, but also in other societies. Are you experiencing more of the trolling on social media, or are you experiencing more and more of this kind of a bullying? Or, yeah, tell us more about these
Social
kind of
media, no.
experiences.
No. Social media is very good. I mean, I don't get direct trolling at all. I'm very blessed that way. I mean, if you talk about Instagram handles and all, no. I think the people that follow certain things I do, they are very positive. They're very encouraging. I have made such good friends on Instagram, honestly, So it's fun. So Instagram trolling doesn't or social media doesn't happen with me. But yes, I think I somehow have started feeling that, when you are in a space where you are in misery, I think I genuinely have realized people are with you. But as soon as you start growing, as soon as you go on a higher level, I sometimes feel, when I look back, I don't have the same set of people.
Mm,
I don't know why. I won't.
mm,
If I might have, there must be some problem with me also. I won't say that again. Like I could have done things I should not have done. But at the same time, I see as you grow, your
mm.
circle gets minimized, and
Smaller.
keep.
Mm,
Yeah, it does. But I think at the end of the day, you just have to do things that make you happy, because
mm,
I totally believe nobody pays your bills. Yes, you need people around you. You need certain people, that happiness around you. But you have to make that choice, that is that happiness more, or is the misery of that energy bringing you down more? And then you
mm,
will know how to switch it off, because I think
mm,
it's high time. People should know that, we get hurt exactly as children. We do go home and sit and think, oh man, what did I do wrong today? Oh,
mm,
why did it happen? So
mm.
trolling could, I mean, luckily I don't have it directly on my face, but yeah, I'm sure behind, yes,
Yeah.
behind, yeah, for
No,
sure.
I will definitely say that if people are not, as you said, when you are in a bad space, or you're not growing, and you are just just going about your life and not making a big noise about yourself, people are going to be your best of the friends. And the moment you are growing, the moment you're getting attention, maybe you're doing well, like you are doing as DJ Sims, people are definitely gonna think different things, because you're leaving them behind. You're growing and they are not, and you're leaving them behind, and people hate that, be left behind. And so they come up with different type of bullying, or trying to push you back, keep you where you were, so you don't grow. Because if you are growing faster, then they don't feel good about themselves, right? If you are having a bad day, they will feel good about themselves. So these are the kind of people we don't want in our life anyway.
Yeah,
So those guys,
I
like,
don't
if
think, Richa, honestly, I don't think about it. It doesn't, when I see certain things that change my opinion about somebody, I don't get rude. I am exactly the same I am as a person, because I feel that as a person, I'm quite good.
mm,
I know, when I come home, I don't feel I have genuinely hurt somebody. So, and when I do, which I might also do, it's not that I don't do, but maybe those people are different around me in my zone, in my environment. But still, I know that I must have done something wrong, right?
mm,
So I think we don't have to. I don't bring negativity into my house. As soon as I enter my door, everything that doesn't serve me happiness, I leave it behind. I don't personally care. Some people feel that I don't give too much time to my relationships, and I don't do a certain, things that I should have done. But the thing that people should realize now is that not everybody has the same battle, right? Everyone has their own life. Everybody has their own set of struggles. So it's not that easy. So I think if they don't understand you in that zone, that means you just have to let it be.
yeah, you have to let it be, and just let those people fall behind anyway, because as I said, we don't need those people in our life. I am I am not first rude, but I have had the past 6 years. I had a lot of people which I shredded from my life, because if they do something that, if they are rude to me, if they are scrolling me, if they, then I say, okay, you know what? I don't want anything to do with you, because you're rude, or you're bullying me, or whatever. And then I say, I'm now gonna unfollow you, and I'm gonna block you from my social medias. I'm gonna delete your phone. I actually tell them. that now I'm blocking you out of my life from every aspect of my life. So please do not contact me anymore. And you're so childish. I don't care because I don't want your negative energy in my life. So I actually tell them upfront, out of my social media, out of my life, out of my phone, out of everything. I'm not going to contact you. Please do not contact me back. Okay? Bye. And I
Yeah.
put on the phone or whatever and I just leave because then out of sight, out of mind for me.
Yeah.
Then
You set your own boundaries.
I tell them that I'm
Yeah.
blocking them. So
Yeah.
they are not surprised, and then I don't look back. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. But as you're saying, we also have to protect ourselves. And if people are saying you should, then you just have to reconsider. Nobody should anything.
Yeah.
I
No.
I will protect my own happiness and I will do what I like, but I don't have to do anything else.
Oh, no. And I think you set your own boundaries. Nobody, no, nobody, you have to set boundaries for your own self. You are
Hmm.
the person who knows what maximum you can take. I won't say that you start complaining. See, again, I can't say what is best for you. You know it yourself, and nobody can tell me what's best for me. I
Hmm.
think as human beings, we should just let be. So
Yeah.
you can't really say what's good for you. Or for example, I might cry genuinely. I might cry on a simplest thing that I don't find a shirt from my my Almira, right? But you might not even bother about it. I There's there are things that in emotionally somebody might hurt me to a level that I won't even care, but I
Hmm.
might cry if somebody doesn't smile at me.
Yeah.
So we have our own
Hmm.
standards. That's how we are brought up at the end of the day. So
And
we should
that's
just
how we are
respect the fact.
different. And it's good we're different. Vaibhav is asking, why do adults bully? Vaibhav, we just discussed that earlier, that there might be many reasons why people bully. They might be not feeling good about themselves, and a lot of it comes from that they are not in a good space. If people feel good about themselves, if they love themselves, they hardly bully other people because they don't need to and they don't care. you know but if people are bullying you, they might not be in a good place, but as an adult, it's not your responsibility. But if an adult is bullying a child, definitely go in, and that should not happen. Unfortunately, it does happen, but it shouldn't happen. But what I've seen with all of my experience, that as a child, when I was also bullied, the children didn't have a good home. They were not coming from a good place, and some people just bully because the other people are bullying. They don't have enough strength to say, "Don't do this." Um, no, there are not any laws because, as we discussed earlier, it's very hard to kind of pinpoint. But yes, if you not in Norway, we have very lean laws in Norway, but in other places you might get sued for saying a few like words that are banned and so on. But in Norway, we did have a case, a very known. A stand-up comedian. He did say something to a girl outside, like of a darker color, and it became huge news. And they did a case on him, and so on and so on. But they kind of closed the case because there was nothing that came out of it actually in the end, unfortunately. But it should be a law, but it's very hard to prove, right? A law asks for proof. How would you prove that I was hurt?
Yeah.
How would you prove that somebody said something unless you have it on a video or a recording? But so yeah, it's very difficult, but that is a collective responsibility of of everybody, that if you see somebody bullying somebody else,
Yeah.
step in, help, stop it. If you are being bullied, either ask for help or make it clear where your boundaries goes, and get these people out of your life. They're
Yeah.
not good
Your
people
own,
to have.
yeah, you set your own boundaries, because Nobody can stand up for you other than your own self. But yes, of course, if you need help, of course, if you need a voice, talk to the person you love. But
Mm,
yes, have the courage to talk about it. Like even
mm,
I mean, I was also thinking before, talking about this topic when we talked. Then I thought, you know what? Somebody has to start talking about it, right? Why
mm.
can't we say that, okay, we are getting bullied? I'm sorry, but we do get isolated sometimes. We do have to, if we don't fit into the bracket of, whatever the person's opinion is about you. So we do get bullied sometimes, and we should
Mm.
talk about it so that people know that, yes, it's not okay.
No, it's not okay. And another way of it's not directly bullying, but what I have experienced because of the businesses I am in, people instead of helping and supporting, they try to destroy what I'm trying to create. If I have an event, like I have a performance coming up, people will find a way to have other things to do and set the same date, even though I planned my date like 3 months before. I have my tickets out, and people will kind of that day find a way to make other busy. So instead of coming and supporting my performance and buying my tickets and so on, and supporting, creating a supportive and safe environment, they kind of tend to cut each other. And that is not a direct way of bullying, but in a sense, it's not supportive mentality, which is unfortunately, which I experienced definitely in our community of Indians. I'm not too much in the other communities, but in Norwegian community, I've never been experiencing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is unfortunate, but that's happened. So it's all about how you take it, how personally you take it,
Yeah.
and it also comes with the confidence of how many friends you have, how big circle you have. I think that is also a very, very important point. If you are very alone and you're isolated and you have a very few friends and they are bullying you, then you kind of feel helpless. But if you have many friends around you, if you have a bigger network, then it's easier to find support. It's easier to find somebody who you can talk to or who can stand up for you. So I guess that confidence or that love comes with how many people you're surrounded with and what kind of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
But do you any words of wisdom in the end of this talk?
Yeah. See, wisdom, you will keep learning, of course. Even I keep learning. Like you said, I sometimes you want to say something, but you can't. But
Hmm.
I think whenever you feel something is not okay with you or with somebody around you, have the courage to, say it out loud. Not if you also feel scared, because sometimes, you don't say things up front because you're scared that, what the people will think and everything. I think the day you stop thinking what people think about you, I think that's the only wisdom I can give. Don't bother what people think. People will love you, hate you for whatever reasons, because you cannot be good all the time and you
No.
cannot be bad all the time. So society is gonna fit you howsoever. There are a lot of things you might do. Sometimes what I do something, sometimes things out of box, and I see some people like me, some people don't like me, but it's okay.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's the only thing. Love yourself, believe in your own actions. If you can face yourself in the mirror, you don't have to face anybody else. You don't have to
Yeah.
bother.
Correct, correct. That's so correct. So, this is all we have time for. Hype
Yeah.
into it. I see that you
Right.
wanted to join us, but maybe next time. Stay tuned. If you experiencing bullying, if you are experiencing that somebody is freezing you out, Sarita is here. I'm here. Stay connected, and let's make this more aware, and let people be aware around you that is happening to you, and maybe we can help. So stay connected, and Follow Sarita, and yeah, we will be back with more issues like this. Let us know what kind of talks you guys want to have with Sarita or any other guests, and we will try to provide that. Thank you, Sarita, for your time, and thank you for bringing up this very sensitive topic. When it's next episode, well, you just have to stay tuned to get it and let you know. I'll definitely plan it a little bit before. Lots of love. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and take good care of yourself and be kind to yourself and to others.
Yes. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.